Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile apps. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Over the past 75 years, more than 10,000 chemicals have entered our food supply, but the EU allows just 300 additives. At Thrive Market, we prioritize quality, banning over 1,000 ingredients found in conventional grocery stores. Our Healthy Swap scanner helps you find better versions of your pantry essentials without the junk, dyes, or fillers, and everything is delivered right to your doorstep. So shop at a grocery store that actually cares about your health at thrivemarket.com/get started for 30% off your first order and a free $60 gift.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, the answer. You ask me, I'll tell you anything. So today is Saturday, January 12th and
11th. I'm so sorry to correct you right now.
I literally looked at the 11 and I was like, I'm going to say 12.
Just for fun.
And I am coming to you. I'm coming to you like I'm a anchor, like I'm a journalist. What's happening in LA is unprecedented, apocalyptic, a failure on every civic level, environmental level, governmental level. Like it is an absolute nightmare. And whenever people post about it, they're like, it's not the time to make it political. I'm like, yes, it is. It's always the time to politicize it, but nobody wants to hear it. However, you could red pill or blue your pill yourself very easily, depending on what feed you follow. So I don't even know that I totally make sense. And even in talking about it, I want to be careful not to make it like I'm a victim.
Mm-hmm.
Like what has happened is unrelatable and otherworldly.
Mm.
To have to make the choice to evacuate your home as you're setting out dinner for your family who had to evacuate their home. And of course, people are losing their homes. I didn't lose my home. I was able to leave. I made the choice to get my children out of there because of people don't think it's not just the smoke. Like these are pre-1970 buildings that are going up in smoke. So that's asbestos, that's lead. This is people's lives. So that's electronics, whatever's in your electronics, like the air. I took a picture of Los Angeles as I was leaving, and it looks like you're watching footage of Baghdad. Like it is gray, it is brown. It is something that most people just don't live through. And so I think it'll take me a minute to like fully comprehend it, but I'm safe. I normally have people like, you guys, I'm so safe. It's like, no, oh my God, no. Why?
Even in these
please,
trying times.
Robert.
It was maybe 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3. It was in the last month that you talked on this exact show about people being like, I'm safe. But you are safe and people are asking.
It's the worst when someone's like, I'm safe. It's like nobody asked. Nobody thought you weren't safe. But we are safe and we're all doing everything that we can. And the silver lining is not the word at all, but it is heartening to see the ways in which people are pulling together. Everybody is doing what they can do, whether it's boots on the ground or from afar, financial organizations, gathering supplies, stuff like that. So, but we're here to bring you a podcast. I am a little weird yesterday. Some woman in a grocery store was like, do you need something? And I was like, no, I'm okay. She was like, oh, you were just staring at the worker. I was like, oh no, I'm sorry. I was staring through her, looking at nothing. And then I just started babbling about this fire. So it's this weird social media thing where like, you don't want to make yourself sound like more of a victim than you are. But like, I mean, my brother lost his house in one of these fires.
Yeah.
And I've seen the traumatic effects of that. So my house is fine. My neighborhood is fine. We did evacuate. We were very close to not being fine. the house that we initially fled to 2 days later, then had to evacuate. So it is fucking nuts. And LA isn't built like any other city in terms of how huge we are. So it's hard for people to like fully understand. This is like evacuating a small country.
Right. The number of people that have been displaced that they now need to find space for. And everybody, I'm just seeing everybody offer up their homes and their cars and their right. But then there's fires there, and then it keeps
I gave my home to our relatives whose house was next door to a house that completely burned to the ground. Like they're sending us footage of like my in-laws' Christmas tree that they take in every year to decorate for Jewish Christmas burned. Like it was inches from their house. So they can't go back. So they're at our house and we went elsewhere. We're fine. And we're safe. And that's what I'm going to say for now.
Yeah.
I also will say this opportunity to fully vilify the fact that our fire chief is a lesbian is so fucking gross. Simply because she did not, whether or not she got the job because of some inclusion thing, this woman was qualified if you actually look at her resume. Like, it's not like they were like, you're gay, you can do it. Like, this woman was highly qualified. Nobody, I mean, how is a fireman supposed to fight fire if there's no water?
Yeah.
And it's like, so you're saying if she was a man, she would have peed on the fire? And it would have, I whip out my own fire hose. So that's people politicizing it with like straw man arguments. That's the part I have no fucking time for. But there's a lot, and there's going to be a political reckoning, and there's going to be a lot of finger pointing. Obviously, it's Israel's fault, right? If we can just cut to the chase here and blame the Jews, I think people will be a lot happier. But it's super fucked up. And yeah, you don't want, I mean, I was already the person that was like glued to their phone, and now I feel even, and you feel the guilt of leaving. I really do, because I'm a real like boots on the ground, let's get it done kind of person. But like when you have 2 little kids, it's just different. Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's okay to say thoughts and prayers, because if you live elsewhere and you're not affected by this, sometimes that's all you can offer up. We cannot all be bleeding for everyone's cause all the time. I get it. So I will take your thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
If that's all you can give.
Yeah. It's there's a weird because I'm here. I don't live there anymore. And there is a weird guilt because I'm like, I'm texting, like, I'm like, is this person, what's going on over here? And I feel weirdly out of the loop on it. Because exactly, as I should be, but I'm also like, what's going on? Is everybody cool? Like,
you want to know, and I will say, like, the amount of people, like, it is annoying when something happens, like 7 counties over. They're like, I heard there's a fire. You're like, that's in San Francisco. Like, it is a big state. But the amount of people, friends, acquaintances, business people, and just like fans who reached out. Fans don't have my phone number, but who reached out, just like, it is a city of people constantly checking on each other because we're all watching where the fires are, and you go through your brain like, oh my God, that person lives on Mulholland. Oh, this person. I had a general meeting with a guy from this like big film production company 2 years ago, and he texted me. He was like, I remembered where you lived. Are you okay? And I was like, I have something to pitch you.
Yeah, I had in my mental Rolodex, like the people, like the horses where you see them move slightly forward. I had the people that I was most worried about because they were close. And it was you and Hot Scotty were the 2 people where I was like,
by the way, shout out to Hot Scotty, who was on the ground, like helping his community.
Yeah.
Helping fight fires.
Hose it stuff down.
Hose it down. Yeah. All right. But this podcast is here to distract you. Yeah. This is escapism. And so, if you're going to take on doing this, a huge job like doing this podcast, then you got to stick to the mission. I know that I've used this as a personal platform at times or times to vent, but we are here to distract you because I know that there are people listening to this that are dealing with something a lot worse. So let's get into the horrible things other people are going through to make you feel a little bit better for this hour as you drive that truck to your 3rd job.
Should we answer a question about someone's house getting caught on fire that has nothing to do with this fire?
Absolutely. I'm an expert now.
Okay. Hello, Iliza, Emily, and crew. I've been using a piece of advice from you. I stay out of issues between my husband and mother-in-law. Recently, an issue came up again that I now wonder if I should start getting involved. Here's my context that will hopefully give you the full picture. 3 years ago, my in-laws' house caught on fire. While the dog and my mother-in-law got out, thanks to the dog, Gracie, my father-in-law didn't, and we lost him along with the entire home.
Oh my God.
During the fire investigation, we found out my mother-in-law had been diagnosed with lung cancer 2 days prior. Both of them were very heavy smokers. This diagnosis is what kicked off this big life-changing event. It was a cigarette that my father-in-law sneaked outside on their deck to smoke that caused the fire. The community rallied around my mother-in-law and helped her out in so many ways. At about the 6-month mark, we made the decision to rebuild the house with her. My husband's best friend volunteered an entire summer to be our general contractor to help cut costs down. We had other companies in the community help as well with giving us materials at discounted rate or at cost. By the time it was all said and done, we had hundreds of people help out with rebuilding her new life while giving us an opportunity to turn a tragedy into a new beginning for all three of us. Before anything was signed, we told her we absolutely did not want any smoking on the property. She agreed to this. The first few months, everything was fine. She wasn't smoking, but eventually we started smelling it on her again. And then my husband found a cigarette butt in the exact spot that the fire started. I lost my mind on her. This was before I started using your advice. And then we had a civil conversation about it. I explained to her that her smoking on the property was slapping every person in the face that helped us along the way and was going against the one thing we all agreed on before building this house and affecting my husband and my financial future. Even after a portion of one lung removed, an entire lobe of the other lung removed,
Jesus.
and she lost her husband in a fire started by a cigarette, I still harbor anger about this. She keeps going back to smoking. At this point, we have accepted that she is the only one that can take care of her own health. However, she keeps going against our one stipulation of not smoking on the property. The most recent incident, I told my husband he needs to talk to her again. He did, but he did say to me, we all live here. It can't just be me that has this conversation with her. Do I get involved or leave this still between my husband and his mother? Thank you both so much for all you do. B.
Well, first of all, B, if this woman's missing 75% of her lungs and she lost her husband, all she has left is smoking a cigarette.
I mean, yeah.
I will say it is crazy that it's in the same spot. And I wonder, like, does that spot, is that next to a pile of leaves? Like, is it just the spot or like, is that a flammable spot?
Is that a No, that's not a flammable spot.
I'm just saying, like, did it just happen to be the same spot because it overlooks? Like, is it a spot
It's
that
the deck, right?
Yeah. It's tough because when you give a gift, like you give it unconditionally. Sorry, Emily, let me ask you this who owns the house?
Okay, let me pull it back up. It seems like when they rebuilt, it is these, let's see. We made the decision to rebuild the house with her. So our question asker's husband's best friend was the general contractor.
Yeah, but who owns the house?
It sounds like it's all three of them. It says it's a new beginning for all three of us before anything was signed, blah, blah, blah. I think they all signed it.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. I'm not like, it's an addiction. Like people quit smoking all the time, but from what I hear, it is the hardest thing to quit. This woman does not have a lot left. You all own it together. There is nothing legally binding her to this. And even if there were, you're not going to kick her out. I would get a great fire insurance policy and I would take out a life insurance policy on her. If you can. At that sick. What are you going to do? Second of all, you can talk to her with your husband. I appreciate that he wants the backup because this isn't like she's in a position of power where it's like, oh, you can't come to my house for Christmas. Like, I don't think you're going to be able to dissuade her from smoking. But I think in this case, he's asking you, and this is something that you guys are very serious about, but she's still going to do it. So the question is, what are you going to do about it when she inevitably keeps smoking? And is there a version where you're like, fine, we just need to move you to an apartment because we cannot handle this financial burden, or you need to buy us out? Are you willing to make those choices?
Is this actually the one thing that vaping is good for? Can you get her onto vapes?
Because it will kill her faster and that health insurance policy kicks in?
Then instead of cigarette embers, it's just destroying the environment with little plastic pods.
Yeah, but anyway, so all the things that I said, and I meant to say life insurance just then. But yeah, it's kind of that thing where it's like, you know she's not going to quit, so what are you willing to do? Are you going to kick her out of her house? Are you going to say, are you helping her pay for stuff? It's tough because you don't want her to be homeless. She's not copying to her end of the bargain. So these are all, but I think I give you the permission to have a conversation with her.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's
That's
not, what she's got besides smoke. You're right. Like,
when I say don't get involved, that's because they're, very healthy people and there's something to lose here. In this case, big deal. She thinks you're a bitch. And the husband's like, well, you shouldn't be smoking. We're both mad. And the whole reason I say don't get involved is because usually husbands are not present when these arguments are taking place. But if he's like, I need backup, that's your husband. You need to back him up. This isn't like he's doing something wrong and they're arguing and you're afraid if you take his side, she'll turn on you and be like, well, you're enabling him or you're not helping me. Like, this is for the greater good and this is the right thing to do. So that is okay.
My other question,
how? Because it's your money too.
Right. How much of this is genuinely I see how it would be like upsetting to see someone smoking in this home that you rebuilt from being destroyed by smoke. But is part of it kind of you're like, well, everybody that helped us, now it looks like we're spitting in their faces. Like, are you more worried about somebody walking by and seeing her smoke in the same spot the house burned down from?
Yeah. Tell her to smoke in her bed with the door locked.
Right.
Tell her to smoke in her car with the engine running in the garage.
No. Yeah. Hotbox your room. If you got to smoke.
Hotbox your life.
After a long day of battling the internet, I love to crawl into bed. We all do. And I love the idea that I can build my own bed. Not the actual bed frame, but all the things on the bed. When you were younger, it was like, well, whatever pillows show up, that's just what I'll have. A comforter I inherited from my Aunt Gladys, a mattress from God knows where. But you can build the coziest bed imaginable with Boll & Branch, now that you're an adult. Boll & Branch makes iconic bedding that will change the way you relax and sleep. Boll & Branch sheets are made from the finest 100% organic cotton, offering breathable softness that becomes even softer with each wash. And these sheets provide the perfect foundation for better sleep and pair effortlessly with Boll & Branch's blankets, duvets, and quilts. I love the Boll & Branch waffle bed blanket. It's great in the summer. It's great in the winter. I got it in oak and I've gifted a few of them because the colors go with every color scheme and they are soft and luxurious. Now's your chance to change the way you sleep with Boll & Branch. Get 15% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza to save 15%. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
The world of fitness can be intimidating. You look online, everybody looks perfect, everybody has ideas about fitness, and you kind of don't know where to start or where to start over. Well, now you can renew your dedication to your health and wellness by tackling the reset on Alo Moves, a curated weekly program of Pilates, strength, and step goals to kickstart your fitness and wellness this year. So whether you're a complete beginner or you just want to step up your routine, Alo Moves gives you the full studio experience at home or wherever you are. Inspired by the 3-2-8 method, the reset from Alo Moves is designed to help you reset your mind, body, and spirit. I like Alo Moves because, like I said, it's not just yoga. It's Pilates. It's strength training. There's also meditation. They even have bar classes. I tried their classical Pilates flow class. It was a quick, 24-minute class. I felt great afterward, and it's totally portable. You can do it off your phone wherever you are. Start your 2025 off right with the Reset by Alo Moves. Get access to your weekly program with Pilates, strength, step goals, and tons of other on-demand classes for only $99 with a 30-day free trial. Go to alomoves.com and use code ELIZA30 to start today. That's ALOmoves.com, code ELIZA30. This is a limited time offer that ends January 31st.
It's that time of year. Time to treat yourself to a little something without spending a fortune. With Quince. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands because they partner directly with top factories and cut out the costs of the middlemen, passing on the savings to you. And you can pass it on to your loved ones or to yourself, whoever you're buying that gift for. And of course, Quince uses premium fabrics and finishes for that luxury feel in every piece. We're talking Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50. I got one in black and I got one in burgundy, and they go with everything. And the best part is it's cashmere. So if you treat it right, it will last a long time. I gift Quince all the time because I love the idea of gifting something of quality, something luxurious, and not spending a ton of money. Quality can come at an affordable price with Quince. Treat yourself this winter without the luxury price tag. Go to quince.com/Iliza for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order. That's QUINCE.com/Eliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Eliza.
All right, we'll do a non-fire one, but also bad mom one.
Ready.
Hey, Liza and Emily, big fan of the show with a big dilemma. My little sister, 18, just revealed she has known my mom has been cheating on my dad for the past 5 years. She shared this with my mom's sisters and my grandmother, who generally are the most judgmental, passive-aggressive people I know, who then went on to berate my mother, call her horrible names, and say generally horrible things about her character. I'm not happy about what's happened by any means, but she's still my mom, and currently being 23 weeks pregnant, I feel like I am in a position where I really need/want my mom right now. But this has been construed as choosing her over my dad. I obviously love both my parents and refuse to insert myself into this because while I do feel my mom is to blame in the majority, I don't think my dad is entirely blameless. All I know is I want my baby to have a relationship with both of their grandparents. But I've now been blacklisted by my mom's family, and I don't know what to do.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
They hate her.
That's your mother, and you're about to have a baby. She didn't cheat on you with another family. I mean, she did, but like, you're not having sex with her. Sorry.
Do I say nothing and try to ignore the horribly hurtful things they're saying about my mom, or do I say something to them and risk further tarnishing that relationship and the potential my baby has for knowing her extended family? Because I really want to tell them to F off and stop being so horrible about a situation I don't think really concerns them. From an incredibly sick pregnant woman who doesn't have the bandwidth anymore, Audrey.
Oh my God, Audrey, I'm so sorry that your family is that self-absorbed that they would pit a daughter against their own mother. Even if it was your mom's fault completely, like even if your dad was the best and your mom was just a bad person, that has no effect on your relationship with her. And we've had this on the podcast before where like the dad's done something wrong. And I'm like, but that's still your dad. Like you are not in your parents' bed. And that is hurtful and it is a betrayal, but it has nothing to do with like she's still the same mother to you. And if you can look past it, it certainly is not in their purview to command or dictate your relationship with your mother or that future baby's relationship with its grandmother. If you can put it off and just focus on your baby, but if you can't, you are well within your right to be like, this is my mother and I love both of my parents and I will handle this with my family the way that I see fit. And you might want to have a conversation versus an email. I was going to say email, but I think there's a lot of power that comes from saying it to someone directly. That way nothing is lost in translation. It's weird that your grandmother and like aunts are like this bent out of shape and putting it on you.
They seem like they say, I think it's valuable to have the relationship with your mother and your father, but the extended family, you said the aunts and the grandma are the most judgmental, passive-aggressive people you know. Great. You don't need them around the baby. Don't do anything to try to get them around the baby.
Don't get them around the baby. Yeah, I mean, that's a weird power struggle. I'd be interested to know a little bit more about these people, but you'll never follow up because my kids never come home. What matters is your relationship with your parents. And I feel like people usually can set things aside when there's children involved. Like if that woman who got cheated on by that Munchkin guy in Wicked with like him and Ariana Grande can honestly be like, and we're still both so in love with our child and still dedicated to being parents. Like if she can do that, your fucking family can get over this drama of like drawing a line in the sand with your unborn fetus. So it says more about them, frankly, than it does about your cheating mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Monsters.
Flying baby. Dear Eliza and Emily.
No more baby.
I moved from a remote part. This one's flying.
The answer is it's annoying, but there's nothing we can do about it because kids have to fly. Next question. Is that it?
No. I moved from a remote part of the Midwest to the East Coast 14 years ago to, you guessed it. Can you guess, Eliza? Moved to the East Coast from the Midwest to
Brooklyn.
No, to do something, not to a location.
Oh. Your master's.
Get my master's degree.
Get my master's degree. They didn't have them in the Midwest. I had to go get one on the East Coast.
I met my husband here, and we now have a lovely house and an adorable baby. Another perk of the East Coast, I've gotten to see Iliza twice. My son is 10 months old. My question is, do I have to schlep him across the country to see my family this year? The trip would be 10 hours one way and includes 2 flights. My parents
10? Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, you
flights.
said 2 flights. Okay.
My parents have come out to see the baby already, but my brother and his wife have not met him. The family wants us out for 4th of July. So baby would be
What?
16 months old for the trip. I know people fly with children all the time, but I can't help feeling this is a nightmare. After hearing Eliza's travel with kids story, I knew you were the right people to ask. Do I suck it up and book the tickets or stall until he's a bit older? Signed, the mom who listened to AIA while breastfeeding on Christmas, Nikki.
Nikki, I cannot answer that for you because I don't know the temperament of your baby. I do know that at 16 months old, that child is incredibly active. My son is 10 months old, and Noah describes him as like, what if a bowling ball was always trying to grab your face? Like, and he's a perfect baby, but like when that kid's awake, they are good. Let's say they don't even cry. They are going to want to be up. They are going to want to be grabbing things. At 16 months, that is a child who can walk. So it's not about never bringing your kids, but like 16-month-old cannot be reasoned with, and you're connecting. And you're schlepping through. I'm going to guess it's O'Hare if you're going East Coast all the way. I'm sorry, Midwest. You're going to the Midwest. Why are there 2 flights, East Coast to Midwest?
But it's probably you get most of the way there, and then maybe it's to a little
Small
baby airport. Yeah.
It's like, hello, Eliza, maybe it's cheaper. Only you can answer that. And if you are able to book, if you're flying coach, can you book 2 coach seats next to each other so you have a little bit of room? You know, the demand that you fly alone, right? It's alone.
I don't even think it's necessarily alone. It's just
look, people do it all the time. If you're alone, that's really hard to do. I don't know, but you shouldn't go because people are asking that you bring a young child. You should go if it's something that you can do and you have support.
If your family loves July 4th and you have great July 4th memories, go. But if they just want you to fly out there.
That's so weird. Like, it's Arbor Day, bring the baby. And it's like, cool. So I schlepped this 16-month-old out there. And then what? I get to have like half a wine cooler while I wrangle this child and you guys like wave from afar. It's just a lot. If you're going to have full support and help when you get there, great. But like, even with nannies and help, like it is still fully exhausting. You are fully on. We brought both kids to Florida to see my mom and my stepdad. And like, it was great, but it was beyond exhausting. So do what works for you. Maybe you leave that kid with someone else and you just take a quick trip, but like they can come visit that baby. This thing's like, we need to see the baby. It's like, what? So you can hold them for 15 minutes and then I'm just with this baby away from my home?
Especially for your brother. Like your parents already saw him. Is your brother like, please, I have to see your baby.
Gross. My nephew, my niece and my nephew. I care so much.
My nibblings.
Ew. Go nibble on something else.
Hey, AIA crew. I've been listening to the pod since 2020, but have been an Iliza fan much longer. I also saw Iliza live in Nashville in 2021. I like when they give us the bona fides, like, I swear I deserve to be. You know what? I would love anyone to listen who actually has never seen your stand-up and just thinks this is a great podcast.
It's like all the kids that find me on TikTok. Honestly, why weren't you at the last Nashville show? I was just there a few months ago. 2021. I've been there twice since I shot a special there. What are you doing?
Background.
So hurtful.
Background. It's hurtful. I am a 33-year-old female that has her master's. Agriculture, not nursing.
All right.
X is a 38-year-old male who lost his wife to cancer in 2019.
Oh.
Question. How do I get past an almost 5-year relationship that ended amicably? He came to the realization that not only did he not want to get married, which I knew and was okay with, but also doesn't want to spend the rest of his life with someone. He was my best friend along with being my boyfriend for 5 years. I see memories and reminders of him all around my house and throughout my day as we did so much together. We did not live together, so I'm sure that will help. But how do I not break down every time I see who we were in my day-to-day? I know time is what I need, but looking for that big sisterly advice. Signed, feeling crushed and defeated.
What does the dead wife have to do with it? That's who he was with before you. And then that put him off forever. And then he was with you as the Band-Aid for 5 years. And then he was done. And he gave you the excuse of, I can't be with anyone, which really means I can't be with you. You don't want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with you. The answer is not the answer you want, which is just time. But think of it more as, thank God he didn't waste any more of your time. And he was honest. And the answer is, it just has, ready? It just has to hurt until it doesn't.
Yeah.
It just does. And I know that feeling when you go through a breakup, especially when you're like younger, you're like, the world is over. That, and especially as a woman, you're like, that was so much time. Like, we built something, like we built all of this, and now it's just going to completely wither away. There are so many good things that you learned during it. My advice would be, feel your feelings. Don't suppress them. Don't try to get over it. Allow yourself to be sad, because that's actually how you heal versus pretending like it's fine. Take as many walks as you can, do as many things to distract you as you can so you don't unnecessarily dwell. And then as far as those things that remind you of him, change them up. Oh, that blue room that is a podcast studio that you guys are in, paint it yellow. Rearrange the furniture, like get out of a pattern. Oh, we always used to go to this coffee shop, go to a different one. You will probably never stop thinking about this person, but they will fade more and more. And then one day you'll be with someone new and it won't hurt so much.
Especially when he was your best friend. And so I'm sure you talk to him every day. You told him everything. So now when something happens, you're like, oh, I want to tell him. Oh, I can't.
Yeah,
that's you have to find replacement people. Like, if you want to text someone, text a woman.
That's how Emily felt when she quit my job. She was like, I can't call Iliza. I can't work. I can't go get her dry cleaning. Like, this is hard. My favorite thing.
I think I've FaceTimed you more since not working for you than during working for you.
Well, we're friends now.
Right. So I'm calling you for fun and not for business. Although sometimes we talk for business.
You actually are probably more involved in my actual business now than you ever were before.
It still is so offensive to me, though, when something's happening with you that I don't know about with your career or your life.
It's just me at like events texting Emily who I've talked to. I'm like,
and I'm like, good.
Guess who has broccoli in their teeth? Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
But honestly, what hurts is that you guys built something. And honestly, what hurts is that like you thought you'd be together forever. And then to hear like, I actually can't be with anyone, whether that's true or not, is a slap in the face because it makes you feel unlovable. But that is not the truth. He went through something horrible. You were there for him. He probably was honest all along. And you did the girl thing of like, but I'm hoping he'll change his mind because I'm so amazing. And you might be. And that's just not the guy for you. Thank God at 33, you're out. That way you can now work on yourself and finding someone who will be there for you. Thank God he didn't waste 5 more years.
Right.
And do not call this person.
No.
These sexual relationships where the person is our best friend, it's because you're fucking. And when you remove that, yes, there are relationships where it's like, and we really were best friends. It was great. For now, like you can reconvene later if like it's you guys are star-crossed best friends. For now, the healthiest thing you can do is not speak to that person because it will keep you hanging on. To quote Vanilla Fudge.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Here we are. We're at the end of the year. What do you want your 2025 story to be? Do you want next year to be like, well, it was just the same as last year and I didn't make any changes. I just listened to a podcast about other people making their lives better and I kind of made the same mistakes. Every January, we get a chance. I mean, really, every day we get a chance, but every January brings you 365 blank, shiny, brand new pages waiting to be filled. And in 2025, maybe you're ready for something different. Life is not about planning a ton of resolutions, all to have them crumble by February and leave you feeling bad. Life is about becoming the author of your own story. Think of therapy as your editorial partner, helping you write your new chapters and create the meaningful story you deserve to live. Be the main character in your own adventure. Be your own hero. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Easily switch therapists at any time with no extra cost. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Iliza to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Iliza.
Building a business may feel like a big jump, but On Deck Small Business Loans can help keep you afloat. With lines of credit up to $100,000 and term loans up to $250,000, OnDeck lets you choose the loan that's right for your business. As a top-rated online small business lender, OnDeck's team of loan advisors can help you find the right business loan to fit your needs. Visit OnDeck.com for more information. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank. OnDeck does not lend in North Dakota. All loans and amounts subject to lender approval.
All right, we're gonna do a real heavy one. What to do when one person wants to keep the baby and the other doesn't?
Man.
But it's removed. It's removed unless they're lying. But they say, "Hi, Liza and Emily. My friend Lily, 27, and her boyfriend." Oh, I mean removed, like not the person who's asking, not the baby was removed.
I know.
Okay.
I know you meant that.
My friend Lily, 27, and her boyfriend.
Nobody thought this baby was aborted, and we were asking. Like nobody thought that.
Okay.
Okay. My friend Lily is 27.
27. Her boyfriend, Nick, 27, have been together for just under a year and live together.
Get rid of it. Next question.
Nick is an assistant carpenter, and Lily is about to graduate Chinese medicine school. I've met Nick a few times, and he seems sweet, fun, and loving, but kind of immature. Before last week, Lily would always talk about how Nick tells her all the time he wants to marry her and start a family together. Cut to last week when she excitedly came over with news that she's a few weeks pregnant. I congratulated her and had a little excitement, hug and dance. Then she asked me to keep it a secret since it's so early. I asked her if Nick was just as excited. She met me with dead eyes and said, he's devastated. When I asked her what she meant, he said that he feels like he's too young, that he's not ready to give up his life to be a dad, that he's, quote, grieving. This all took me by surprise. Lily has made it clear that her intentions are to keep the baby and start the family she's always wanted, and he's not on board. Last night, I stopped by her house to drop off a Christmas gift, and I have never seen her so sad. She wasn't in tears or anything like that. I could just feel her energy, which is usually very bright and fun. Okay, you're the Chinese medicine person, probably, but okay, we'll pretend you're not. Her energy was all gone.
You're like, I could really feel her chi flowing up and down her meridians. Also, it's not me who does Chinese medicine.
I could tell that they were fighting because it looked like Nick moved into the spare bedroom. It broke my heart seeing Lily so depressed, unloved, and unsupported by the person who she thought loved her enough to want to marry her and start a family. So I guess the question is, do you have any advice or wisdom for Lily that I can share with her? Or do you have any advice on how I can support her through this? Side note, we live in a conservative state with abortion protection still intact for now. So it is possible for her to change her mind, even though I don't think she will. Thank you both for all you do. S.
I don't know that look, some people don't believe in abortion, some people do, but this idea that like Lily's going to have the family she always wanted. So like what you always wanted was to be still in school and separated from a child's father who didn't want the child and a single mother. Like that's the family you always wanted. I'm sorry. Like, I think that your friend Lily is a little blind to the fact that like they were not on the same page, and that's okay to talk about like, I want to get married one day. 27 is not that young. In LA, it's a little young to get married, but like, it's not like he's 20. Okay. But at 27, you are still kind of immature, especially for a guy. I'm a little annoyed by Lily, who's got like her head in the clouds, and she's like, and he loves me and he wants all this. And like, we just never decided to use a condom and we thought it would be okay. And now I'm going to surprise him with this. Oh my God, he's different. Yeah. You're basically threatening to upend, completely change, ruin this guy's life. She is going to do whatever she wants to at the end of the day, just like she did when she was a willing participant in having unprotected sex. But you don't need to burden yourself with it. If she wants to have this baby, then you be her friend. No woman fully understands how difficult having a child is until you do it. And that's okay. But I think your friend's being a little selfish. Just this idea, like, it's the family I've always wanted. It's like, is that how you wanted this?
Right. But the question is, it's like, to Lily, the question is not, should I keep this baby or not? Lily, no, I know you know. I'm saying a question to ask her, like, that's off the table. Like, let's say Lily's keeping the baby. You're not the father or the mother. You don't have a say. As her friend, you can be there for her. That's what you could do.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Like, I don't know. Women concern themselves. Like, what can I do? I don't know. You could throw her a baby shower and you can like bring her food, but like that is a decision she is making. It is all encompassing. That child will be 24/7. She like, unless she has family or childcare, I don't know how you finish going to school. I don't know how you do anything without help. So she's just signing up for a very hard life that millions of women do, but your friend, you want to talk about mourning the losses and then your friend is not going to be the same friend when she has that baby. So you can be there for her, but there shouldn't be an expectation that you do anything. You can be an aunt to the child. You can be as involved as you want. Don't put yourself in a position where like you are the other parental figure. If this is like your best friend, if you don't want that.
No,
that's it. Be careful.
Okay. We have a confession. I thought it was a good time for one. That's really critical. It's a stinky confession is the title. Hi, Iliza, Emily, Scotty, and the whole gang. I love listening to the pod. I'm currently catching up on past episodes, and as someone who is always craving new, fresh content to listen to, I love that there are so many. That is the best part about the show, the quantity, not the quality.
Yeah, not the quality, yeah. We got so much, and it's not great in such huge portions.
Whenever I listen to you, it feels like I'm hanging out with my friends talking about all the highs and lows of life. Since I feel so comfortable and safe with my internet podcast elder sisters, I think it's time to get this confession off my chest. My ex-boyfriend was a flatulent man. Anytime, anywhere, he would fart. Loud or silent, big or small, and they were always just so stinky. Later, we found out that he had a mild case of lactose intolerance, but that didn't stop him from consuming dairy and tooting all over the place. He genuinely did not care and thought his farting was hilarious. One of his favorite places to let loose was when we were in the car together. At least he would have the grace to crack a window, but still. One day, we were in the car and I ripped a huge, rank, smelly fart unexpectedly. It was completely 100% silent, but it smelled shockingly awful. Yeah. You guys, I turned to my then boyfriend and said, "Oh my God, you farted again? The least you could do is crack a window." He looked at me very confused and said, "No, I didn't, I swear." However, I insisted it wasn't me and that there were only two of us in the car, so it had to be him. He got a thoughtful look on his face for a second, then looked at me contritely and said, "Yeah, it was me." And then he cracked the windows to air out the car while laughing about it. I successfully gaslit my boyfriend into believing that he had farted in the car when it was really me all along. And I don't even feel bad about it, especially since he turned out to be such a turd of a human being in the end. And you don't have to keep me anonymous because the guy deserved it and I do it again. Thanks for all the laughs, Becca.
Becca, counterpoint, he knew it was you, but he knew in that moment that he needed to take it on the chin and just pretend like he was dumb. You know when you farted. It's never, no one's so filled with farts that they're eking out. You're like, I had no idea. Like you feel it in your butthole. It has so many nerve endings. That being said, good for you.
What?
I'm sorry, what? Do you not know this?
What do you mean?
What do I mean? Your butt, how else can I say your butthole has so many nerve endings?
What do you mean so many? Why are you acting like it's the most sensitive part of your body?
Because it is. It's your second mouth.
No.
Yes, no. It's your other south mouth.
The idea that you're like, of course it couldn't slip past. You feel everything coming out of there.
You do.
I mean, yeah, but then how do people shart?
It's not about not containing it. You know when you're sharting. No one's like, I had no idea I was sharting. Your anal canal has many specialized sensory nerve endings. There's so many. You can't. Google can't even tell you how many. There are 7 deep gluteal nerves. All originate via the lumboscal plexus or sacral plexus. This is off the top of my head, folks. All exit the pelvic region. There's a lot of words in here. There are. Maybe I was thinking of a clitoris.
I feel saying your butthole has so many nerve endings.
How many? No, wait.
What? How many nerve endings does a butthole have? Is that what you're Googling right now? Google's going to be like, that's not a question.
There's a lot. Well, okay. It definitely is not 10,000.
No, that feels like, I'm going to Google how sensitive is butthole.
Who is butthole and when am I butthole?
Something called about GI disorders says the skin around the anal area is tender. and very
Okay.
sensitive.
All right, that's a tender behind. And you know when something's going out. That's all I'm saying. You know when something's going in and you know when something's going out.
Right. Unless that guy was like drunk or high or like, but maybe he thinks one escaped. I don't know. But he probably was just being a good sport because it's like, what's he going to do?
Yeah, I love it. She's like, and I Jedi mind tricked him to thinking he sharded. It was me all along.
Okay, we have
And also, this is the episode where I confused a butthole and a clitoris.
I'll put that when I put together. I still need to find the miscarriage episode so people can refer back to it. I'll be like, okay,
Refer back to it.
The tent pole episodes, miscarriage episode, the butthole episode.
People go to me for life advice, and today was the day that you know that I actually know nothing, and it's all been one long AI scam.
Okay, somebody wrote in the subject: Sierra moonlighting is a Russian baby model.
Oh,
Hi
yeah.
guys, wanted to let Eliza know that the little girl on the Russian chocolate bar is called Alyonka.
Wait, I have it here,
Alyonka.
actually. I have it because my friend is Russian, and he said it to me. Yeah, Alyonka.
Alyonka.
He said Alyonka is legendary. Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, it says she's a staple of a Russian childhood. And then
there you go.
also, if you see this for your Vancouver show, there's an Eastern European grocer called Alenka if you're needing a caviar fix. It's also just a cute area with some fun restaurants across the street. Heart, Elizabeth.
Ooh, love a caviar fix. Not something that I would use to describe like my day-to-day activities, but that is good to know.
But I think it was last week when you said you were like, I wanted caviar because I didn't eat any at the event.
I did. I had a couple bites and then you have fish breath.
Yeah.
And so then but I was like, I still have the taste for yar. I think we can all reference that Frasier episode where they like buy a bunch of black market caviar. There's nothing, you're not an asshole for eating caviar if you only have a little bit. You're an asshole if you're like, I need it. My house is burning. I have to run in and get the caviar.
Right. Or if you're like, oh, this is all my 3-year-old daughter will eat is caviar.
She loves caviar. I have to sprinkle a little bit on her bento box lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
I put it on her cheddar bunnies.
That would actually be really good, probably. Cheddar bunnies with caviar.
Caviar on anything.
What have you
is
done to
outstanding.
your hair?
These are all, I don't know if you can see it. These are all my broken.
All your
Postnatal
your
baby
little
hairs.
baby bangs.
Okay, so that we can make this video. Is it, okay, these are my my postnatal baby broken hairs. Is it French or is it giving turf bang?
It's more French than turf, but it's
not enough for turf.
It's kind
Also,
of
they're
it's kind of medieval peasant, or no, it's Anne Hathaway in Les Mis. The front.
yeah. Here, this is the part that's sad, is that some of them are really long.
Really long.
I know. It's like a jellyfish tentacle.
You're going through it. Doing little spikes.
I wasn't even trying to do spikes. They just naturally spike. There we go.
Yeah.
Like a French Dwight Schrute.
The dream.
It's the dream.
All right, we got a question. Ugh.
Rainn Wilson, whose house also burned down, which is horrible.
Shout out.
Shout out to Rainn. Pray for Rainn.
I mean, it is. You know what? Can we real quick just say how crazy it is that everyone's, celebrities, who cares? It's like people are saying like, oh, they're rich. Guys, I don't think you understand how many actors there are who are not tremendously wealthy.
I'm sorry. The internet is constantly showing how it is run by deeply stupid have-nots who are just fucking jealous. Like most quote unquote celebrities are working actors who did not come from generational wealth. I am one of them. Like if you have a $4 million house in the Palisades, chances are you bought that with your own money.
And that's your number one biggest asset. And you bought it when you were more famous 10 years ago. Like there's a lot of situations there. It is a working town and it is crazy. We don't need to help them. Other people need, everybody needs help right now.
It's fucked up. Anyways, it's awful. And I also think, the more I look at it, I'm like, so many people are just like using this for their feed, or like, these are the celebrities who lost homes. I'm like, you don't fucking care. And that's ruin porn. That like getting like a weird spike. It's called ruin porn. Like when like Detroit fell, people would like go take videos of it and they would look at it. And it's like, there is something that feeds you when you look at a tragedy that isn't yours. And it's fucked up to do, folks. Like constantly looking at these fire videos. Like, look at LA. I used to love it here, but now look at this. Also, buy my hair vitamins.
I thought for a second you were saying that the fires existing have ruined porn for you. Like that
Oh,
they've
sorry.
ruined porn. So you were just like,
It's
oh,
so hard
ever since
to-
these fires, I just can't enjoy porn anymore.
It's so hard to get off knowing that Malibu's on fire, you guys.
Right.
It makes my orgasm just so short.
Oh, people are so stupid. Okay, back to important questions. How about this one? Misguided mom guilt? Hi, Iliza. Longtime listener of the pod and fan of your stand-up. I am a new mom who has a great new job opportunity that I really want to take. But my hesitation is that I'd have to end my maternity leave early from 12 weeks to 10 weeks. And my first week on the job is attending a national meeting for 4 days out of state. I know this is only a temporary hurdle, but it makes me sad thinking I'll have to leave my baby sooner than expected. My husband is supportive of either decision I make on whether to accept or not. I'd be joining a new company that requires less travel than what I currently do, better benefits, and will offer more options for future career path. Sounds like a no-brainer, right? How did you deal with the mom guilt of traveling after your babies were born, and how soon did you travel? It breaks my heart thinking I'd have to leave my baby. Some context, we'd be able to send baby to daycare. Can I say, I love when people just call a baby baby.
I do too. I still call Sierra baby.
Send baby to daycare, but my husband would have to do nights alone as we don't have family nearby. Unfortunately, it's not an option to have a baby or my husband travel with me to the meeting as the company has the employees scheduled morning and night with content. Would love to get your thoughts. Sincerely, Mom Guilt Michaela.
Michaela, I didn't have any mom guilt. I just missed my baby. So I didn't feel like, oh my God, she's not getting, like I left milk for her, whatever. But that being said, when Sierra was born, I went back on the road. I say on the road, I'm gone for 2 or 3 days and I come home, but it was just hard on my body. But I think I'd have to look back at the time, but I think I went back relatively soon after Sierra. With Ethan, I think 3 months after I gave birth, we took a trip to Mexico City without him. I was like, peace, like you should be fine. The guilt, you will always feel bad because you could always do more. These 4 days are a drop in the bucket.
And ending
compared
maternity
to-
week 2 weeks early, maternity leave 2 weeks early.
I hear that. I mean, look, still a drop in the bucket. It'd be one thing if your body was ripped in half and you couldn't physically perform. Drop in the bucket compared to the future that you are investing in for your child. You will not even remember these 2 weeks 3 months from now. And you know what? My husband is a better father than I am mother, and he is so supportive. I never feel bad when he has to do something. I don't.
Yeah.
You carried that child. You broke your body. You gave birth to that child. Take all the help you can get. Take every extra hour someone holds them. Take it. Because society will require that you and your child will require that you give everything until you have nothing left to give, like the giving tree. And then nobody will fucking care because you'll just be some empty mom whose kid is like out being spoiled. So take all the help. It's not a big deal. Take the time to de-stress, have a glass of wine, bring a face mask, whatever. You are investing in a great future for your child.
Yeah, less travel.
None of this will have mattered 6 months from now.
I also think if you start the job and you've just come off having a baby, everybody at the job is going to have to be so nice to you. Like, wow,
they'll think you're amazing. They'll be like, she's a rock star. Yeah.
Look at her go.
It's hard, but and also peace of mind knowing the husband will be with the baby. It's not like you're just leaving the baby. So let the husband bond and lose a little bit of sleep. You've done a lot. This is not about like, let Noah do it. I never feel bad when I'm like, can you put Sierra to bed because she doesn't respect me?
Yeah. But it's so nice that the husband is clearly like supportive of whatever. Like take advantage of the fact that you have a good partner. You have a stable system.
That's great.
Get a better job. Great.
Never feel bad about it. You're not taking advantage. Everyone's just doing their part to support you. Great. Go.
Yeah.
If you can do it, go.
Hi, Iliza and crew. This is your most loyal male listener, TM, who emailed about getting a little too drunk at my wedding earlier this year. I start off with that to acknowledge that I am part of the problem in this situation. We got married in May on our 3rd anniversary. The day was absolutely breathtaking, and our emotional ceremony inspired both her cousin and one of my dear friends to make their own weddings more personal and authentic. We meant those vows as we said them. It had already been a hard year with my wife quitting her job in March with no backup plan and unable to keep a job since. Since then, she has descended into a depression about having to justify her existence through work and feeling oppressed as a woman with severe ADHD. Totally valid struggles, but she has not been coping in a valid way. I discovered the first of many hidden bottles of liquor in August, and
Oy.
she has continued to try to hide a debilitating drinking habit all year. We spent a night in a crisis center together. I reached out to her closest friends to try and organize an intervention, but she always seemed to break through and promise to get sober at the moment of truth, only to relapse a week or a month later. I have come clean with her about my own drinking problem and have now been alcohol free for over 2 months. I know that my drinking was part of her permission structure, and I'm racked with guilt about that. She refuses to see a therapist or go to a program. Without a steady income from her, we are in serious financial trouble. I know I'm partially to blame, but I feel like I've played every card in the deck to help her get healthy and nothing is working. I've been in 2 other relationships with similar issues.
Oh my God.
And I don't want to give up on this like I have in the past. I meant it when I said in sickness and health, but the trust between us is so shattered right now, I have a hard time imagining rebuilding it. At what point do you accept that somebody doesn't want to be saved? How can we possibly be already there as a couple? Sorry, this is so dark. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. You're a font of wisdom and intelligence, and you mean so much to your fans. Thank you for giving the gift of yourself every week. Anonymous.
I thought you said your name was TM at the beginning.
Most loyal male listener, TM, trademark. Sorry.
Oh, I was
sorry.
like, that's a weird name.
No, he was saying most loyal male listener, trademark. Like,
I thought you were going to be like our circle. I am not an expert on alcoholism. If you've been in 2 relationships like this before, you're saying you've been in 2 relationships
this is the
where
third.
the other person was the alcoholic and you were getting sober, or you were both drinking together.
I would guess the latter.
Here's the thing. Your relationship is built on you both being alcoholics.
Yeah.
And so you are now both in she's in a relationship with a different person, as are you, because you're not in a relationship with your drinking buddy anymore. And you have not had a chance to get to know each other without alcohol. And if this is something that you are committed to, not drinking anymore, I'm sure it is the hardest thing in the world for an alcoholic to be in a relationship with someone who is drinking, because that puts your health in jeopardy. The fact that she won't see a therapist is kind of a deal breaker.
If we're taking you at your word and you are doing everything you can to improve your relationship and you've played every card as a loving partner and she is refusing to engage with you on that level, what else is there to do?
Yeah, what's the future here? She never works again. She stays an alcoholic. You're not an alcoholic. And you guys are just not communicating. Because she is a drunk, the conversations you're having with her aren't valid conversations because she's not receiving the information with a clear head.
Mm-hmm.
And right now she's probably trying to figure out how does she protect her number one love in life, which is alcohol. So it might actually take you moving out. And, we don't like the word ultimatum, but in a sober moment, maybe you and friends and family having an intervention, like, you will lose everything. And I want to be with you and support you, but I can't do it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because your spouse is not unconditional love. I think it's really only your parents. And even then, like, I don't know, some parents abandon their kids, but like, that is just a person you met that you were attracted to, that you love and you think about, but like, there's no blood. You're not actually related. And at a certain point, it's going to start to wreck your life even more. So that's it. You're 2 different people than when you met, and you have the opportunity right now to grow together. But you're not a medical professional and you cannot be her sober rock because you are still in the infant stages of getting sober yourself. And you don't want a project. This isn't a chemical change. She's trying to quit one of the hardest things in the world that ruins people's lives, and you're up against so much. So I would have that intervention, and I would be very prepared to follow through with it. You don't have to get divorced right away, but the question is, how long do you want to put up with her? Because it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen where she's like, okay, I'll get sober just because of the same talk we've had over and over, even though I know you always come back.
Yeah.
So the question is, what are you willing to do to make it different this time? Is it move out? Is it the intervention? Is it file the papers? You don't have to completely break it off with this person, but you have to take the steps to create like a different reality.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Cobbs?
Taste the top with a cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite, top of the cob.
Now we'll go right into bottom of the cob.
Well, obviously the bottom of the cob here is the fire. mean, that kind of goes without saying. That's a cop-out.
Yeah.
It's a cop-out. A cop-out. I'll just say my top and bottom at the same time.
Okay.
My top is, this is going to sound awful, but but this is what it is. My top is handing in a draft for a network pilot in addition to the probably final draft of a script, a major script we're working on the same day, in the last few days. But my bottom is, but feeling really weird about handing in what was owed, because it's like, I might be sending this to someone who just lost their house.
Right.
So it's this like thing coming to an end that has taken so long, almost a year for both of these projects, but to hand it in and you're like, you don't know if, like, it's just weird. People are dealing with these things humble you to be like, yeah, these fucking jobs and these movies and these projects don't matter in the face of losing everything. So it's great to be done, but it's a bottom to be like, and just whenever we'll read, like, you feel bad about sending it.
Yeah.
Which should be a very joyful thing, feels very bad. That is me making this about something not as awful as what is happening, because obviously the bottom is my city burning. Yeah.
Right. So. My bottom is similar in that communicating, like trying to figure out the right way to communicate right now, where I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm like, am I a piece of shit because I posted that it snowed here? Like, I'm not just posting like black squares for the fires. Like, it's so like you feel so helpless, and it's like I'm checking in on my friends, I'm donating, but you feel like, do I have to put publicly I donated money so that people think that I'm donating money?
Can I say something to that?
Yeah.
We have been so browbeaten and brainwashed in the wake of COVID, Black Lives Matter, like all these things that called on the public for a major response.
Mm-hmm.
We have been so beaten up by deeply stupid people who have nothing and nothing to live for on the internet. The reason most of us post, look what I'm doing, is not, and I will die on this hill, is not to inspire others.
No.
It is to show like, hey, do not come for me. I'm doing the most, which is fucked up that you even have to preemptively do it, because we're all doing it to stave off losers who will be like, but what were you doing? It's like, what the fuck were you doing while you're sitting here chirping at me? You don't know how much I've donated or what I've done. Yeah. And so it is this constant thing where the internet that is uneducated and has nothing comes for those who do something because you dared to try. So and then you get accused of virtue signaling because you're like, well, if I don't do anything, then you accuse me of not doing something because you didn't see it. So I'm so tired of living like this.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sharing info on like where to go if you need a underwear, because I've seen that shared 2,000 times. I'm like, I just went and like, and donated or reached out to people or whatever.
And people are like, you donated the wrong thing. That's actually not what you should be doing. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Sitting at home picking your nerve-filled butthole? I'm so tired of the unwashed masses coming for anyone who gives a shit and telling us we're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of people who want to cancel you simply because they have no talent and nothing to live for. I'm so over it, because that's always who it is. It's never someone who is creatively fulfilled, sexually fulfilled, thriving. As much as they post about how they're unbothered, it is always the biggest losers that have the loudest voice and actually do nothing.
Yeah, because you see, there are always people in these situations. I have a few friends where I've seen how they're getting involved in their communities, and I'm like, wow, they're even better people than I thought. Like, they're actually actively, those are not the people that are like, what are you doing? Because they're busy doing stuff for their community.
And by the way, none of it matters.
Wow.
None of it matters, because I look back at all of the disasters that I helped organize for that are not my community.
Yeah.
Whether it's in other countries, I'm not even just talking about Israel, because I was very moved by what happened in Syria. Not that anyone thinks of that. Or Lahaina, or COVID, or first responders, people that you're not necessarily connected to. And all of that went out the window when I said I was Jewish. All of a sudden, I'm the worst person ever. So moral of the story, support the people that you feel you need to support and fuck everyone else for judging you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's insane seeing. Yeah. Well, okay. That's my top. My top is, I heard a sound outside and the cats growled and I went and looked on my Ring cam. and a little cat was walking in the snow gingerly. So then I went out and followed his little cat paw path for a while in the snow until I lost track. And I did. I was like, do I need to save him? But he was like a big boy. But the snow's going to melt in the next day. So I was like, I think he's okay out there. But it was like I got a little activity.
I thought your top was going to be that you breastfed him.
I wish. Not that I breastfed, but that I had gotten my hands on him, but he got away. But it was to get to see a path in the snow and follow it as though I am a detective. I was like, oh, that's my top. Do you want to do some fan ones since we did top and bottom all together?
Yeah, we'll just do a fan top and bottom.
Okay. Fan bottom. Being told that this morning's appointment was my surgery. And then I get there, my surgeon tells me, no, that's not what's happening today. Then to be told it'll have to be a week from today because insurance is a whore. I was in the ER literally New Year's evening with immense pain. So shouldn't that count for the week? I start angry crying and he says, let me try to push a prior authorization to have you come back Friday. I've been off work a week. I missed a week in December from COVID. I work for a small company, so short-term disability isn't offered. I'm stressing the fuck out over 1, missing out on money from working, 2, the ER bill, 3, the surgical bill, 4, the unknown amount of time I'll need to recover because everyone is different. Say it with me. Yay, fuck. It's a pretty good bottom.
It's like if they really wanted to do you a solid, they give you the surgery and then just bill you and commit insurance fraud and just bill it a week from then.
Like fight me. Yeah. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. People are living in the most fucked up circumstances and our healthcare is a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Like pausing the idea of like universal healthcare, just the fact that like companies will be like, you lost your leg. Well, we don't know if you need a fake leg. Like,
I shared on this show that I went into the dentist for a cavity and the guy goes, yeah, I looked at your pictures. You don't need one. You don't need it filled. You can leave. They charged me $72 for that, for me going in and being told you don't need anything done today, actually, and you didn't have to come here at 8 a.m. You can go home.
You can argue that. And moreover, the fact that like dental insurance is an even bigger joke. Like the fact that I'm in 2 unions, gainfully employed, and it's like, we'll cover 1 cleaning every 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
People need their fucking teeth.
I need my teeth. They're connected to your heart health.
Well, then you should start flossing.
I know.
You deserve. You're going to get what you deserve.
I am.
Okay. People were up in arms.
I know. Right. I know. People are mad. I'm going to try, guys.
Just fucking do it, bleeding gums.
I did it last night or the night before. I texted you about it the one time I did it this week.
You're like, I got some angel hair pasta and I slid it right through.
Okay, we have a good top. I finished a bottle of lotion. I never thought that was possible. Now I feel like I can do anything. Maybe finish a chapstick even, which you guys, that's pretty good.
Sustainability queen. Nature is healing. We need to take care of this planet. I will be in Vancouver this Friday, January 17th at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. Very much looking forward to the show. And then the next time I will see you will be at KeyBank State in Cleveland on February 21st. And Saturday, 22nd of February, the next day, I will be at the Benedum Center for the Performing Arts in Pittsburgh. Looking forward to those shows. And wrapping up the Get Ready tour this spring before we head back out in the fall with a lot of new dates that will be announced when my special comes out, which is coming up. That's all I can say. It's coming up. You guys, stay so safe. This is absolutely horrific. If you feel moved to help anyone in Los Angeles, obviously that is always appreciated. And thank you for listening to the podcast. And we were happy to have brought you this episode today. I'm sorry if it sounded weird. Weirdly, when I fled my home, I did not think about my podcast equipment.
Your equipment. I did DM you about it. The minute I saw you leave your home, it was my first thought. You said like, we went. It was after you had left. You were like, we left, and this is what I brought. And I said to you, did you bring your mic?
Part of me also thought I'd be home. I should have gotten it shipped.
No, you shouldn't have. Who cares? Listen to this the way it is, people.
Listen to these tracks, bitch. That was a Waka Flocka funny quote. Okay, goodbye. Oh.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Sign up for Greenlight today at greenlight.com/podcast.
Sling has the sports you can't miss and will reward you for watching. Every time you watch is another chance to win cash and prizes. Plus, only Sling lets you choose and customize your channel lineup, starting at just $45.99 a month. At that price, there's no such thing as an off-season. Catch all your favorite sports. Go to sling.com to customize your channel lineup and start earning rewards just for watching. Sling lets you do that. Restrictions apply.